Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Right,
Now I
Kathy's
had it, now
up
I
first.
lost it, so let me go back to sharing.
There
Did
we
it
go.
work?
Yes.
Yay! So excited. Um,
Okay, now
so
view the slideshow. Yeah.
hello, ladies. We are so happy to be with you this afternoon. And Jean and I are from Highland Neighbors for Sustainability. And we were formed in February 2020, so we're not nearly as old as Save the Dunes. We're still kind of young. And we meet on the third Tuesday of the month at the Greenwich in downtown Highland. And we are on Facebook, and sometimes we're on Instagram if I can make the technology work. So our interests are dictated by our members. So there's a lot of people in our group who are just they're just passionate about native plants. So we've been doing a lot of native plants, pollinator gardens, and other wildlife habitat. We've been trying to get rid of invasive species. We are so into education and advocacy and recycling, gardening for giveaway. We help other sustainability groups get started, and we work with other conservation-minded groups like Save the Dunes. And our first project in 2020 was convincing local officials to conduct a greenhouse gas emission inventory. And I'm telling you, it was a really tough sell. But we managed to tell them it was a deal. It would cost thousands of dollars, but if we all banded together, they could do it for $250. And we did that. And so, oops, I hit the wrong thing here. Um, we got Cedar Lake, Chesterton, East Chicago, Hammond, Highland, Hobart, Lake Station, LaPorte, Maryville, Munster, Portage, Cherville, Valpo, Lake County, LaPorte County, and Porter County. All of them we've got data for them because you can't change your emissions if you don't know what your emissions are. So we did that, we got that, and we're actually due to redo this again, but I don't know if that's going to happen under this administration. But at least we've got a benchmark to know where to start from. As part of our promoting native plants, we have done winter sowing workshops, and sometimes we do vegetables too in the spring. Um, we support the Highland Community Garden by watering, weeding, harvesting, and donating to a local food pantry. And the first year, we gave away more than 150 vegetable plants to the community. One of our members was standing outside in the road with a sign saying "Free tomato plants." So it was exciting. And I just watered today. Everything looks really good. We got a grant to purchase wire trellis so we can grow beans and cucumbers vertically. We've been recycling at the three summer festivals in town, and we have filled an 8 cubic yard dumpster the both years that we have done this. So that's all stuff that's staying out of the landfill. We
So I'd like to just comment there that it was surprising to me that they don't recycle at the festivals and they don't recycle at our commercial establishments on Highway Avenue, which is like our main street in Highland. Um, so yeah, so this was like, what? So we
and
went around with, you could see Kathy and Donna with with the wagon and our old recycling bins, just picking up from the festival goers and dumping it into our the dumpster, which was what, eight cubic?
8 cubic feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, we still have a lot of education to do because you can see in the center there, we had lids so it wouldn't look like exactly like a trash can. People put their corn cobs in there. It's like, can you not see? This is not a garbage can. It looks different. So we have a lot of education to do.
I would walk up and sit by the trash can, the recycle can, and just glare.
Recycle, recycle, recycle. And we actually stole this idea from Save the Dunes. We collected more than 1,000 pounds of plastic film and inspired other communities to keep plastic film from the landfill. So thank you, Em. And got a bench for our community garden.
And one of our members owns the Greenwich Cafe, and we kept one of the recycle bins in her spot. And she has helped 6 or 7 benches, so we've go ahead and put 6,000, 7,000 pounds of plastic film through the Greenwich to other communities. And like what are some of the names of the group?
Munster, there were 2 in Munster. There was 1 in Whiting. I think they're working on their second one in Hobart now.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's been a very successful People are upset now. I said, no, you got to take it to Jewel or you got to take it to Strax now. But yeah, because once you get into the habit of collecting it, then you can't stop. You got to keep doing it, which is good. We also are collecting sneakers and Crocs. This is our second year doing this. It was much easier doing this than it was doing the plastic film. And anybody could do this. Gotsneakers.com, they'll provide a prepaid shipping bags, and if you have really good sneakers, instead of taking them apart and recycling them, they'll donate them to somebody.
And we've gotten about 300 pair of sneakers, and not as many Crocs, but
That's
must be what people like in Highland.
well, Crocs never wear out, so it's hard to wear out a pair of Crocs. We installed a rain garden at our town hall, and we water that and plant that. We have a municipal parking lot, which is nice. It's got some EV chargers there. It's got a public bathroom there. So instead
It's
of
on the bike trail.
it's on the bike trail, and they have these little weird hell strips all through all different shapes and sizes. So we took one and try and put native plants in there to see if we could find native plants that would survive the heat, the lack of water, and the salt and everything in the thing. So this is still ongoing. We haven't come up with the perfect combination of things, but we're still working on it.
That was the Parks Department. They didn't want to mow anymore
Yes.
in that area.
They
So
didn't want to water either. They didn't want to
yeah,
water the grass. We help other groups in town. We participate in the Park Pride Day to clean up the parks. We've helped out at other community gardens. Um, I'm not sure where I think this might be the Rookery. We've helped out at lots of different groups.
this is actually Doak Prairie go
That's
back.
why I didn't recognize it. So
Yeah, so we help plant there. You can see me in the hat. Can you go back one?
yes, well, maybe.
Yeah, use your left arrow. There you
Yeah.
go. Okay. So, and this is Kathy at the United Way Day of Caring at Faith Farms, and she was learning how to collect eggs from chickens. So we've what else have we done? Marquette Park, beach cleanup. I'm trying to think what other places. I know I've gone to Shirley Hines and knocked down invasive species. I've gone down to Kankakee Sands and worked on cleaning and growing native plants from seeds. And this is go ahead, Kath. This
Okay.
is our rookery.
Yeah, this is the Highland Rookery, and they've done 5 plantings here. It's right along the Little Calumet River, along the levee, and we've gone there with the Wetland Initiative and the Nature Conservancy to plant native plants. They're trying to rewild the edge of the Little Calumet River.
And the last time we were there, we got
15,
1,200 plugs put in the
yes,
ground. So it was hot and humid and
yes,
awful.
and no water. You would think in the riverbed there would be water, but not this time. Here's our meadow. This is a brand new picture, Jean. I just took this yesterday.
Oh, that was yesterday. Okay.
Yesterday. So this is what it looked like before on the left. It was just nasty. So now we've got black-eyed Susan, coreopsis, vervain growing, and we're going to go out there tonight and we're going to weed whack cottonwood trees, maples, and thistle and get it whipped into shape.
The park asked us, and we cooperated with them. They said they had a contract with our utility, NIPSCO, to mow this area, and you can see how watery it was in the spring. And so, and I talked to people, and they said it's always been that way. You know, there's always been water, so they they would get their mowers stuck in the mud. So we got a grant from the NIPSCO and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and then um, we we had to mow it down to nothing, and then we had to. I hate this, but we used herbicide that would kill all of the turf grass, and then we went ahead and brought in an engineering company that planted it for us. And our deal with NIPSCO and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife was to provide so many hours of volunteer service to keep down the annual weeds and also to keep out any invasive species like woody invasive or even native. So it's got 5 pipelines underneath it, and they use drones to keep track of the pipelines, so they can't have any trees growing in that area. So that's what Kathy was talking about. We've got a river of little cottonwood seedlings that have to get cut down. So we're going to do that tonight. And then we had a little invasive species training yesterday, and she identified all the things that we had, and most of it was thistle, like I was saying to Em before we started this meeting. So we'll be out there because you want to get it before it starts seeding. So that otherwise you're just going to have more next year. So that's kind of what they gave us the money, and we're supplying the volunteer hours.
Yeah, but it's looking good. It's looking good now.
And that's
Um,
a few of the many bags we had with the mare's tail.
we also, the principal of a local elementary school called us and said, we have a beautiful courtyard, and every year the ducks come and they come and lay their eggs in the courtyard, and there's always ducklings. And they had a teacher who had was a master gardener and had made the courtyard beautiful, but then she left. So the courtyard was a mess. So we have right now we have completed all the cardboard and mulching. We have covered all the cardboard and mulching in the center of the courtyard. So we've planted underneath the tulip tree. We have it planted under there, and I'm not planting when it's 100 degrees. So in the fall, we'll go and plant the rest of this. So we're hoping that the teachers will take the kids out there and they can go and see all kinds of stuff. Hopefully there'll be a lot more pollinators and going back, and more birds going and back and forth when we have native plants in there. We try to encourage renewable energy. Um, so far we have been unsuccessful, but our good council person is trying to convince the council again that we should become a soul smart community. So I I hope he's more successful than we were. We were trying really hard and we could not convince them. One of our councilmen says it's government overreach. I'm going, well, I think it's free government resources, but you do what you can. We've sent postcards to legislators advocating for solar power in Indiana. And I don't have a slide for this, but we've also shown up at like the IDEM meetings. So when BP or Cleveland Cliffs or the steel companies come up for their annual review, we go there and testify and show up to show support so we can get better clean air and water. And this was the first year we did this. We were at the 4th of July parade, and everybody wore costumes. We gave away seeds, and all our decorations were either scrapped or thrifted or made out of recycled materials. The whole float was decorated with
Grocery sacks that we made into garland and flowers and jewelry and recycled
and our
embroidery
sign
hoops.
was made out of an old sheet
Yeah,
and leaves.
that's me and that's my brother.
So hopefully we'll be doing that again this year. And we have Captain Sustainability. One of our members said, well, I want to be Captain Sustainability. So he is carrying a shield made out of an old garbage can painted green, can lid painted green. He has a reusable dishcloth. He has a water bottle. I can't remember what all, but yeah, he really, really got into this because it was really warm that day. But he went out there in his Captain Sustainability paraphernalia because you got to have fun with this. And this was another part of our float. Um, we had our first annual pumpkin smash in 2023. Our third one will be this year. And I was skeptical at first, but people love smashing pumpkins. It was a hoot. People wore them on their heads. People hit them with a mallet. So far we've collected almost close to 5,000 pounds of pumpkins, kept them out of the landfill. We donated them to feed rescue animals at Aaron's Farm in Hobart, and the animals really, really enjoyed them. And I didn't know that pumpkins were so nutritious. Apparently, they're a great food for animals and people. We have a book club, or the Tree Huggers Book Club meets at Tinker's Attic. It meets 4 times a year, and sometimes the books are uplifting, and sometimes you just want to go, oh, but it's always a good time. We have about between 4 and 6 people who regularly come and join us for that. We like partnering with people, so we partnered with the Arts Council to get a mural in downtown Highland. It makes me smile every time I go by it. And we're having our second annual migration celebration at the Rookery that we're trying to rewild. This year it's going to be on September 13th. And Save the Dunes is welcome to come if you have anybody available. We would love to have you have a table there. It's only 2 hours. Maybe it won't be 100 degrees. And I wanted to say this. Over the past few months, the Munster High School Environmental Club, led by Kevin McNulty, has been working closely with Munster's Town Council to advocate for a more sustainable future. Thanks to their efforts, the council officially voted to establish a sustainability commission. And this is amazing because they do not have a very friendly council. It's it so this is just astonishing. And the commission will bring about together students, community members, school and town leaders, and the Chamber of Commerce to plan for a healthier, greener Munster. They'll meet throughout the year, lead community education, and help shape policies that protect our environment for generations to come. And I will tell you that when I do go to the Highland Town Council meetings, no Highland High School student ever comes to them. But sometimes the Munster High School kids will come to our council meetings because if they get extra credit for their government class. So they will just show up. And whenever they show up, everybody is so excited. They'll kind of say, come, take a picture with the council. Come. You cannot believe how they are so excited to see young people getting involved in government. And when young people come to the city and town council meetings and speak up, people are impressed. When the community sees young people volunteering, people are impressed. When people see you succeeding at school and at work, and people are impressed. So take advantage of this power and speak your truth. You can make a difference. We will help you however we can. So I'm going to turn this over to Jean now if I can. I saw the stop share button. You'll
There
have to
you go.
excuse me. I'm
Okay.
old and not very techy. So
So, is Thamar the only person that we have, or where are the rest? Are they not on the screen, or?
We have a couple more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I get started, I would like to know what area of advocacy taps your toes. So I can give you tips and tricks on what we've learned from the municipal, but so please answer my question of what you've seen so far and what makes you want to jump out and do something.
Um, I think I'm trying to figure that out. I think I'm very overwhelmed of all the things we could possibly be doing to help either our community or the environment. And then it's deciding, am I gonna focus on community? Am I gonna focus on city or on big laws that need to get passed? Or like, should I just worry about what I'm doing and make sure that I'm doing like
Mhm.
what I'm supposed to be doing to help out? So I think I'm in the spot of trying to be more focused so that I'm not so overwhelmed by everything. I think when I was in college, it was a little bit easier to focus because it was just smaller things we could do around either with the students or our community. But I
Mhm.
think when I got out of college, it kind of got a little bit more complicated because I'm like, I'm not
Life gets
sure.
in the way.
Yeah, and then yeah, it gets busy and then also trying to figure out what I want to focus on or what will um I guess what will I be excited to do because it also has to
Mhm.
do with you being in love or excited about what you're doing so that it's
Exactly.
consistently possible. Yeah. So I'm not really sure right now where I want to
Mhm.
focus on. I think that's why I joined this cohort is to kind of
Mhm.
be more um to help me be more focused on like one thing or a couple of things that I could help with.
Mhm.
And like obviously participating more in nonprofits or like volunteering at like community gardens or like hearing about what you guys do. It
Mhm.
really helps me try to figure out where I'm trying to focus my attention on.
Well, I can I can absolutely commiserate with, trying to figure out what you want to do because
Mhm,
it's like there's so much to do. Where do you start and how much time do you have? And so I kind of have a two-pronged approach. I try to do what I can in my personal life. I recycle. I have no grass in my backyard and a tiny bit in the front, so it looks a little more
mhm,
conventional. I have a lot of native plants. Of course, being retired, I can volunteer all the time, and I do.
mhm,
People call me sometimes a professional volunteer. So
mhm,
I have two loves. One is the native plants, and the other side of it is the invasive species. And then I'm also very worried about food insecurity. So sometimes I feel like I'm steering a group, other times I'm just being willing hands, and
mhm,
both of those things work. When I'm um, at the food bank, I'm just packing cartons for the 500 cars that are at the mobile market, so I'm
mhm,
tossing in cilantro, or I'm uh,
mhm,
opening up cartons of applesauce and to put in these cartons, and it's fast, and you're just like, oh my God, can I keep up?
mhm,
And then other times, like yesterday, I organized our invasive species group to have a trainer come in, and also, I mean, my self-interest was I wanted to know what we had in our meadow, and uh,
mhm,
you got a restoration ecologist who's had 30 years of experience, so that was great. So it's okay. And as I've said to people, as far as getting started in volunteering, is you're going to kiss a lot of frogs. You know, people are gonna, I have a friend that is very well established, and she is a whiz at training entrepreneurs. And she wanted to do at Miller Beach Library, she wanted to do a training class because she just finished doing that for Hammond. And
Mm,
and she's shelving books for them. Like, no, your volunteers, you need to have them to their strengths, not doing busy work. So
mm,
so I get it. So
yeah.
does does anyone else have any opinions, or I can start sharing and give you my tips and tricks.
I was just something, sorry, I was just driving on
Oh,
my way
okay.
home.
So you're
Sorry,
Hope.
my
Okay.
camera's not open on. My name's Hope. First, I wanted to say like all of the things that you guys have been doing is so amazing. Like everything that you guys have done is like awesome, and I was just really amazed to hear everything that you guys have been able to accomplish, especially like the greenhouse like emissions and like making sure like all those well having all those towns participate. It was just really cool to hear all of that. So um just hats off to you guys. But
Thanks.
um I wanted to talk about, because tomorrow we're meeting with the Gary people at City Hall, and I was just some things that like I've read like their parks management plan before, and they don't really like abide by the things that they put in there. And I was just wondering, that's one point, and then wondering how to like maybe like encourage the people who would run that or be responsible for that, like to start abiding by what they put in their management plans. And I know a lot of it sometimes is like hopeful and unachievable, but um, that's my first part. And then my second part is like all the illegal dumping, and to like start putting up more resources for people to know where they should be putting all of the stuff that we would commonly find on the roadsides. Sorry to throw so much at you.
No,
Oh,
that's
no,
great.
no. That's that's what is tapping your toe, Hope. And so I am going to talk when I do my tips and tricks about how sometimes people are going to be afraid of you. And so you may not want to go down with signs and protest, I mean, you might, and certainly I protest on Saturdays over at the Highland Avenue of Flags, and we've been there, Kathy and I and several of our other friends, for what was the last one? No Kings, and the other one in April. So,
Hands off.
there's times when you want to protest, but there's also times when you want to come in a little softer and then, make friends, make connections, so yeah, it's a tightrope. Anyone else want to jump in? I don't know who else is here. I only got three people on my screen, so. Okay, all right, well then I'm gonna share and talk about sort of the nuts and bolts of this. Okay, let me go to. Okay, so if you're starting an advocacy organization, there's lots of things that you need to consider. And so, well, I'll just walk you through what we've had to understand. So the first thing is, what form is your organization going to take? Are you going to be grassroots or part of town government? So grassroots are more flexible, and we kind of sort of go back and forth on what we're doing. We are a
Associate advisory partner.
Yeah, so it was kind of a phony baloney thing, but I felt like they were trying to come up with something that would make us somewhat happy, but wouldn't let us do too much.
Yeah,
So
we're not a sustainability commission.
yeah, we
They
are.
weren't going to do that.
So and grassroots, you may not be able to have access to town property if you want to do an event, or you want to, put in some native plants or whatever. So you kind of have to judge what you really want to do. And if you're part of the town as a board or a commission, then you're going to have bureaucracy and people are going to be more interfering into what you're doing. Then you have to think about your financial organization. If you were to become a nonprofit 501(c), it's called, which allows you to have donations as tax deductions. It costs money to file. It requires a board of directors, officers, and other rules. So it's it's a bit of paperwork, and if you're starting out, you may not have the money to file for this. Grassroots, though, would need a fiscal sponsor to apply for grants. So what we have is the Highland Community Foundation, who when we got the grant for our meadow, they were our fiscal sponsor. And if you were to look at who got the money, it was Highland Community Foundation, which they paid our bills, and then, but our name doesn't appear anywhere as the persons who did the meadow. So the other thing is to be very clear about your mission. When we first started talking to the town council about that we wanted to become a commission, we weren't very clear. We had a lot of things we wanted to do, and we didn't have that 30-second elevator speech that you need, so that kind of hurt us. It took the council a while. They didn't really want us anyway, and then when we couldn't tell them exactly what we wanted to do, that leaves the door open to all kinds of fears. So make sure you have a 5-sentence statement about your mission, and be prepared for resistance. I think we've kind of talked about that already. We've been called disgusting. We've have people that are yelling and screaming at us at town council meetings. So I think, Kathy, you could probably talk more about this Briar Woods East. They've had their share as well.
Yeah, I'm also supporting the people in Hessville who are trying to save the Briar East Woods, and the mayor and the town council have just horribly screaming, yelling, cussing at them. And then he got mad and put up a big fence around the woods so people couldn't get in there. So we still don't know what's going to happen there. But yeah, so we have it's not been as bad like that in Highland, but if your government doesn't agree with what you're doing, then there's going to be resistance. So you just have to carry on and, smile and just keep on going. And don't resort to their tactics. That doesn't help.
So my strategy is to do things that they can't be afraid of, so that's why we've done events like the pumpkin smash, and we've only made them look good, when we put in when we have less landfill going with our recycling, so you can lay back in the weeds for a year or two, and and then hopefully someone else will help you pick up the torch for solar power, or the other things that might be scary to them. So, and it's all good, we need more fireflies, we need more butterflies, we need more bees. And so, you're doing things that are good for the environment. And even if you want to be down there and just trying to get like getting Soul Smart, which is just, it just helps the town prepare their people so that they can get their solar power without a lot of bureaucracy. But right now it's not working. So
we'll just plant more native plants.
Yeah.
It's hard to get mad at a garden.
Yeah. So, and think about your audience when you're trying to say you want to have a, I don't know, can you see this without because I've got all your pictures over part of, I'm going to put you over here. Okay. What excites them? So I was in sales for most of my career. So my adage is, so what, who cares, what's in it for me? So if you want to go down to your local, like to Gary and tell him that you're just horrified at how much trash is along the sides of the roads and what is Public Works going to do about that? Well, they may not care, they haven't picked, that's not the highest on their priority list. So, just because you're excited about it doesn't mean that your audience is going to be excited. So, you kind of have to, work hand in hand and find out what is, maybe you'll find a councilman or someone else that is excited about plastic in our drinking water, or, so yeah, you gotta think about this. And we gave this advice to a high school student who wants to help businesses recycle on our main street. And find out first whether they care. You could have a nice plan, but if they don't care about it, then it's not going to go anywhere. So remember, so what, who cares, what's in it for me? And make alliances everywhere. So we've helped mother new sustainability groups. We try to do things with Shirley Hines, with Save the Dunes, with the Nature Conservancy, with the Wetlands Initiative. We'll go out and plant, like we said, other conservation-minded groups. We're right there. We're at the Monarch festivals, the one in East Chicago, the one in Munster, because you never know who you can help and they can help you. And also, if you're looking to get grants and donors, they like to know that you're not trying to reinvent the wheel and that you're all working together. So, so don't try to go out on your own. You're going to burn out.
Yeah,
And
we've partnered with the Highland Arts Council. We've partnered with the Tree Board. So yeah, make friends in the town or city. You will find people who will care about what you're doing. You just got to find them. That's the hard part.
and play the long game. I think I've said this before. Maybe this year you can't get somebody to pay for you to have people picking up the trash along the highway. But it took 15 years for Highland to get solar lights on the bike trail. So we have solar powered lights that aim themselves downwards. But the idea was given 15 years ago. So it doesn't all happen as fast as you wish, but you just keep plugging. And these are some resources, and I can share my presentation with M. So things I've liked. Nonprofit Tech for Good has really good best practices about how often should you do emails, where's the cheapest place to get a website put together. TechSoup, same thing, events and webinars. Food Rescue Hero is not conservation, but they have an awful lot of good ideas of how to do things on shoestrings. And Email Octopus is another one of these not very expensive email that you can do. A lot of times people in nonprofit small ones will do just blind CC. So you do an email that way. But if you want to see what your open rate is, or if you want to see if you've led people to click on your link, then you need a like MailChimp or MailerLite, or Email Octopus is another one that I found. So these are just some nice places you can go to start thinking about how to get your word out. And we have a Facebook page. We don't have a website yet. And they'll tell you if you're, some of these that I've gone to of these webinars, that they will say which age groups use which social media platforms, and depending on who you're trying to reach, you know, you might be using one platform more than another. There's actually thought and research on this. So anyway, I think that's my last one. Oh yeah, there's more. MailChimp nonprofit marketing strategy for success, MailerLite free plan. Hope you guys do better than us. We could not figure it out. I think our problem was we have a Gmail account for Highland Neighbors for Sustainability, and they're not real happy about that. But anyway, these are all strategies for people who have zero funds and, you know, want to get their word out. So that's me. So we got 15 minutes late.
Awesome.
We
Well,
figured
thank
to go.
you. Yeah, no, you're fine. Thank you so
Mhm.
much for presenting all the amazing stuff that Highland Neighbors for Sustainability is doing. Does anyone have any questions?
No, thank you both for all the information. It's really great. And this project's actually going to expand a little bit into a more digital scape. So I will be making little short videos to share on social, and I'll definitely tag Highland and include a lot of the information that you shared so that more people understand literally the step-by-step kind of processes. Jean, I loved all your tips and tricks about even if you're not part of the city, befriending people who are on the city and pushing your agenda through. Like if you don't have time to be on commission boards or, donate your time, leverage who you know and leverage
Yeah.
what you want to see happen from the people who are supposed to be doing that. And I feel like Highland's been a good example of your guys' tenacity to get things moving, because if you guys didn't, the city wouldn't care, or like the city wouldn't be pushing this agenda. So someone had to, and we're grateful it's you guys.
Yeah.
I know Connie Wachala is just famous. She says, "Well, let's go have lunch. Let's go have lunch at the Greenwich. Let's go have coffee at SIP. Let's go have something at the Grindhouse." It just always is. I have never been in so many meetings in my entire life as in these last 5 years. But we,
It is a lot of meetings, definitely.
yeah. But yeah, and stuff happens. So we Highland just with the tree board, and we nudged them a little bit. We got 200 trees planted along the little Calumet River. So hey, we all need more trees. So I don't care who gets credit for it. I just want the trees. So
And Connie has got a thick skin, and she'll go to these meetings and just resist. She'll just talk back, and how can you say that? Where I'm just like, I like to get along and do it in a different way, in a friendly way. So, but she gets right in there and has to put up with a lot of crap. So.
yeah.
Incredible.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your schedule to do this. Yeah, and we'll continue working with you guys if there's ever anything we can do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
thank you all, cohort, for joining us. I know it's a little bit late, but we appreciate your guys' time, and we're looking forward to our meeting tomorrow at City Hall with Brenda Scott Henry and the GSAC committee. So just FYI for tomorrow, we have it scheduled for 1:30, but if you can meet there around 1:20. If you're driving there, the way to park is basically in the back of the city hall. So you're going to want to drive around, and there's like a gravel or like asphalt area. So if you have any questions, let me know. I think I gave everyone my phone number, but if anything happens, just feel free to either call or text me at any time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll send you the resource. I'll send you my presentation. You could do whatever you want with it,
Yeah,
but the resources are on the back.
That would be incredible.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
And
you
call
all
us if
so
you
much.
need us.
Yeah.
We'll have coffee or lunch or a nice latte. So
For
Okay,
sure.
sounds great.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, thank you all.
Okay.
Have a great rest of your
Everybody,
evening.
Okay,
Thanks.
Take
Have
care.
thanks.
a good day.
take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.